Are you able to find the move that wins for white in this position? So David Navara is facing Parham Maghsoodloo in the Prague International Championship 2026, and the move that wins for white is g5. g5 is disconnecting the bishop from his pawn on h4, also does not allow black to play g5 and strengthen his position. Let's take a look to the game. So we are in the Prague International Championship. Here David Navara opens the game with e4, Parham goes with c5, knight f3, d6, bishop b5. So this is the Sicilian defense for black. It's a solid option. Here black can go knight d7 or bishop d7, which is similar to the Rossolimo attack. This is the Kano attack. Knight d7, castle for white, a6, bishop takes d7, bishop takes d7, c3. Alright, so c3 is something like the Marxi when we go c3 d4, or it's known to be the anti-Sicilian play. Here knight f6, rook e1, bishop g4, h3, bishop h5, d4. So we're counter-attacking the center right away. That is the main reason why we played d4, because we had played c3 previously. e6, d5, e5. So black chooses to close the center up so that white cannot open lines and everything. a4, white is trying to gain some space on the queen side. Parham goes bishop b7, solid move, he wants to castle right away. a5. So David Navara was able to gain some space on the queen side. Castle for black, knight d2, queen e8, knight f1. So the plan knight d2, knight f1 reminds me of the Ruy Lopez, the closed Ruy Lopez, where you go knight d2, knight f1 in order to go to g3 and eyeing the f5 square with the knight. Yes, that is some usual plan for white in the Ruy Lopez. Bishop g6, this is a prophylactic move because he knows that white is coming with knight g3. Bishop d8, knight d2. Here saying, let me just make sure that in the future I can play f4. Also, it's adding another defender to the e4 pawn. Queen b5, c4. c4 is a solid move. This is solidifying white's structure here. Queen d7, black went back to his terrain. Knight to f1. Here again, somehow in the future we might go knight e3, knight e5. As I said, the critical square here for white might be on f5. Rook b8. So after rook b8, which is trying to open this b line for black as a counter attack. Since he's feeling that he does not have any sufficient space, he wants to counter attack on this queen side with the rook. Later on he might play b6 or b5. Yes, so if he goes see if David goes a takes b6, then probably the rook will take on b6, and he might be eyeing some bishop b7, rook b8, and try to fight in this file. So queen f3, this is developing the queen and trying to connect the rooks in the future. h5, trying to gain some space. Solid move, probably eyeing h4 in the future as well. Knight e3. So as I said before, the main plan for white shall be to go to f5 somehow with one of the knights. Of course, one of the reasons David played queen f3 was to defend the e4 pawn from the knight and the bishop with the knight on g3 and the queen. So black can never take here, yes, because knight takes e4, knight takes e4 runs into losing the pieces. Bishop takes e4, queen takes e4, white is up a piece, yes. So knight h7, this move is saying or bluffing to go f5 in open lines, which will make a lot of sense for black due that the white queen is in this file. So white goes as planned, goes knight e to f5. Here h4, nice move. This is kicking away the knight, which will probably go to f1 or e2. Since this knight will move, then that means that the bishop is going to take the knight on f5, and we're going to either take with the queen or the pawn on e4, eliminating the knight's threats in position that we were establishing there. So instead, David goes for queen g4. Okay, wait a minute. What are you telling me just from the shadows? If h takes g3, white is losing a piece. Okay, wait a minute, because here if black goes h takes g3, I have knight h6 check, and if g takes h6, I'll just eat the queen on d7. So this is not good for black. So he knows that, and he will try to defend here with king h8. King h8 is a prophylactic move for knight to h6 check, which is a nice way to actually defend the queen that's not protected on d7. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and you're going to be able to see more analysis on the GM games. So knight to f1, this is rerouting the knight. He might be able to go to h2 and then later on g4 or e3, protecting on e5. But black is not going to waste any time here. He's going to take on f5, and of course white will have to take a decision here, either to take the bishop with the queen or with the pawn on e4. David goes e takes f5. Solid move. This is gaining some space for white, preventing some f5. And of course, when you're trying to attack the opponent's king, you don't want to trade more pieces. So g6, counter-attacking on f5, just putting some pressure. F takes g6, queen takes g4, h takes g4, f takes g6. So here we see some ending. We're getting to the ending with knight d2, knight g5, knight e4. So knight e4 is actually forcing the trade of the knights here, because if he goes bishop e7, we're gonna take the knight on g5 and we're out the piece. Yes. If he goes bishop c7, I'll just chop the knight right here and we're winning. So he needs to trade the knights. Therefore, black goes rook takes e4. Here, black had the actual option of going g5, which will strengthen his position, and instead Parham goes b5. B5 is, as I said at the beginning of the video, which is counter-attacking on the queen side, trying to open some files for his rooks, and David accepts it, and a takes b6. So rook takes b6, and here's where white played the brilliant move g5. I loved this move because it's giving some advantage to white, which can convert in the future right now. The reason why is because when we go g5, we are preventing black to to go to g5 and protect the pawn on h4, solidifying his pawn structure. So instead, white goes g5 first, and this is winning now for white. King g7, that does allow rook takes h4, rook f5. So black is going to recover the pawn on g5 here, which white knows that he's losing the pawn, and he's actually allowing black to recover the pawn here, because he can never take with the rook, because I'll chop the exchange. Instead, he goes bishop g5, which allows bishop g5, rook takes g5. But there's a brilliant move here that we're going to see, that I love the play that David has done here. Bishop takes g5, bishop takes g5, rook g5, g4. g4 is actually almost trapping the rook on g5, which is a brilliant move. Rook takes b2, king g2, rook b6, rook a3, king f6, king g3, king g7, king h4. So if you take a look to this, you're gonna be able to see that the king is attacking the rook, which must be defended only by the king. And there's not an escape route for the rook. If you see, the possible squares for the rook are controlled by the pawn on g4, which is the reason why the pawn on g4 made a brilliant job here. Just getting some play for white that prevents the rook from going or escaping the castle that he has done for his rook. So king h6, f3, and here we see that Parham Maghsoodloo has resigned. So if we analyze this position, we can see that after f3, that we're just protecting the rook on e4 and the pawn on g4, which is a solid play. Black doesn't have anything to move. He's in zugzwang. Zugzwang means that whatever he moves, he loses. So for example, if he goes a5, I'll chop the pawn, rook takes a5, and I'm winning, yes? If he goes rook b2, I can take the pawn on a6, and I'm winning because I'm attacking d6. You can give a check on h1. Yes, I can go g3, rook g1, I can go king h2, and there's nothing else to see here, right? Also, we might have the plan, for example, he goes rook b1, rook takes a6, rook h1, king g3, rook g1, king h2. Let's see, rook c1, rook a8, and we're almost winning the rook on g5, which is only defended by the king. Also, the other rook can swing here and go to the attack with the other rook. So this was a brilliant game from David Navara. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please, you can share this video with your friends, and we're going to be having more games from the best GMs of the world. Subscribe, and you're gonna get these tactics and these analysis for the end games. And thank you so much. Have a good one. Peace.